Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Break It Down. Let's go put a stop to Vyatt's heresy.
I always have a backup plan.
We've already read that. I'll bring my entourage because there will probably be blood. I've read this before. The tech priest mentioned ancient ruins belonging to the Xenos. I know to what you're referring. Strange structures of an unknown material. For the prevention of any unfortunate accidents, I ordered the area to be declared out of bounds for all. Some things are better off left under a thick layer of dirt, beyond the grasp of even the enlightened minds of the Adeptus Mechanicus. You're forcing settlements to pay their tithes in human bodies. What? Really, Donald? You speak as if you actually believe the claims of those wretched peasants. I do not ask anyone to pay the tithes in human bodies. I'm reducing the burden on the settlements which have suffered as a result of unsuccessful experiments involving enriched food, and I'm gathering the worst affected subjects, those who are no longer capable of work for further study. Some among my circle would call such a concern for the underclass a weakness which may have incited rebellion among the emboldened rabble. Rumors have reached me about oddities among Yanis' population. I don't deny it. Some of our experiments exact a higher toll on the population than others. You see, recently one of the noble families of Yanis has taken on the difficult task of enhancing the attributes of our workers. So far, it has involved introducing experimental supplements to their food and mental conditioning in monitored settlements. Sometimes procedures are disrupted, and part of the population suffers from side effects. The specialists of the Gravas family would be better placed to inform you on this topic, but alas, they are currently engaged in the field. A refreshingly novel, the rich treating the common folk like dirt, and coating it all with the best intentions. Jai's usual honeyed voice now grates like rusted metal. You neglected to mention the strange changes in the planet's flora and fauna. Megos Vincelex is a very wise man, but his fixation on evolutionary processes seems a little extreme to me. Yanis was heavily cultivated. Forests were cleared and mountains raised across half of the planet. It is no surprise that we are still noticing the consequences of those changes. It's possible that the plant mutations are connected to waste runoff from the harvesting equipment, and the changes in wildlife behavior could be a reaction to the expansion of the cultivated area. Vistenza shakes her head with a laugh. Are you surprised by my knowledge of the topic? Our whole dynasty has dedicated itself to taming Yanis, this plentiful yet stubborn planet. Every member of the Vyatt bloodline is versed in the fundamentals of planetary engineering and its consequences. I found the rebels' nest, Vistenza. Have you really, your lordship? And what have you learned? Everything, Vistenza. I know everything. I know you have one chance to beg for mercy. Your lordship, but I have no idea what you're talking about. You've woven your web of deceit in vain. You can no longer hide behind the veil of ignorance. Donald has seen the evidence of your deeds, heard the cries of the tormented Lelathan, walked amidst the decay that you brought to the maiden world. Enough of your lies, chaos wretch. Iliad, Vistenza exclaims breathlessly. How dare you, you filthy vermin! I'll have you flayed for that outburst. Your lordship, what is going on? I've already heard enough, Vistenza, but if you wish for me to repeat myself, we know that your loyalty lies with the ruinous powers. Vistenza clenches her teeth so hard you hear a crack. I, daughter of House Vyatt, governor of Yanis, and citizen of the Imperium, serve no one other than the Emperor and the Von Valancius dynasty. And what you're accusing me of is merely a tool at my disposal. A tool that I have the power and courage to use. Do you think ordinary methods would have been enough to tame this demented planet? No. My family struggled for decades to subdue Yanis once and for all, and it was all in vain. The loyal servants of those families who have resided on Yanis for centuries helped me to unlock a new source of power. Ancient knowledge secretly passed down from generation to generation, accessible to a select few, and which grants power over nature itself. How could I reject it? How could I undo all the work of my predecessors, who were entrusted with Yanis, who faithfully served the Von Valancius dynasty, and who with the madman's obsessiveness hewed this rock into a stunning diamond? 2 days spent among the initiated was enough for me to start hearing the voices of angels in my ears. Angels who gifted me the keys to conquering this world. And before you offend my ears with more accusations or moral admonitions, remember who has dutifully served your dynasty all these years. I wasn't there for that, so I don't care. Remember who has devoted her life to turning Yanis into the primary source of wealth in your protectorate. Remember to whom your predecessor entrusted one of her most valuable worlds, without fear of treachery or conspiracy. Without me, without my service, my sacrifice, Yanis would be nothing. Oh, my dear governor, the only truly angelic voice on this world is going to roll like thunder right about... Your wicked deeds would not go unpunished, heretic. Now, like honey to one's ears, wouldn't you agree? What more proof do you need, Elentok? The Mon Kai has confessed to her handiwork. Theodora knew about your inclination. Did she know? She owned this planet for many decades. She probably did pick up on the local gentry's quirks. But did she ask me outright, as you are doing now? No. Your predecessor was much more interested in supplies and tithes, which I provided without fail. You're not saving Yanis or improving it, Vistenza. You're destroying this world with your own hands. Vistenza's eyes narrow. Forgive me for what I am about to say, your lordship, but you're lying. I am not blind. I can see how Yanis is changing, how it is becoming tamer, more submissive to the will of humanity. When was the last time you left the estate, Vistenza? Take one look at the jungles of Yanis, and you'll see that whatever you may have thought you were doing for the good of the planet, you're actually killing it. Jungles. The effects of the changes have gone that far. But by my assessment, the biome should have been preserved intact for future arable land. Iliad's predecessor. Did you know another Xenos came to you before Iliad? Your retinue hid his coming from you, so they could capture and sacrifice him. Where did you hear that? Yes, it's true from time to time I put on executions for a small circle of friends. Wait, recall my confidant seeking permission to use the salon for some gathering or other. I thought she meant ideological discussions, not sacrifices. So I missed out on the pragmatic option, it looks like. Oh no, she's not going to get redeemed. If I select this, will it take me back to the dogmatic option? I wish this was dogmatic as well. I want the points. I'm not going to waste my breath trying to persuade you. It's time to retire the Vyatt line. I don't think that this is, well, no, that's not something my character would say. You made a mistake in thinking that anyone would come to your aid on my world. Servants, to me. Interesting. Alright.
Is there money to be made?
So what do I do next?
Let us not dawdle.
Oh, this.
My pleasure.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch.
A bolt pistol.
See, right there.
That's a warp check. So here's my best 35, 30, 49, minus 170.
My mind is focused.
I love to lead. A job for me.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive.
One and it's done.
Who wants to dance? Yeah, there's definitely no coming back from this. That's Lanesh's symbol there.
None are better at searching.
A Tome of Excess. Grants plus 10 to lore warp, but the wielder suffers % more damage from psychic and navigator powers. Okay, why would I use that?
I always keep my options open.
What did I click on? We'll come in from this direction, I guess.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
You dare cross the faithful!
Actually, I might put her back here instead. Maid of Honor. Yeah, demonettes. Nasty pieces of work. Alright, tank first, Abelard. Oh, I forgot to give him his melting gun. Alright, first things first, we want this over here.
Me? Never in 1,000 sectors. Am I getting paid for this? You've got a problem, I've got a price. You jest, surely. Tell me, and it is done. I can do that, with the right incentive.
You cannot force me, Elantak.
Go, soften that guy up a little bit more.
If it serves your cause.
not super keen on that.
But of course.
They're lining up nicely for me.
Guided by faith, as the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. Each strike is a prayer.
Oh, there's Vistenza. Did not see her over there.
Who if not me?
Buddy.
Taking calculated risk is in my second nature. I'll make it happen.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Alright, that's interesting.
To the brink of agony.
Defensive stance. And endure.
Am I getting paid for this?
Alright, who to take out here? Options are fairly limited. But there's one less to deal with.
Don't get too cocky.
I am unsatisfied.
I approach the designated position. I am not your Xenos pet, monkey. Another soul slips beyond the veil. I understand your intent.
Alright, try to take out the demonette next. With his defensive stance when she tries to attack Abelard, hopefully he takes her out. Nice. Hang in there, buddy.
High momentum.
Someone's death wish is mine to grant. I won't object to it.
It's not doing super hot. Nice.
I am unsatisfied.
It's as good as done.
Alright, think he's gonna go down. Oh no! Didn't go after my... Oh, there it is.
Tell me, and it is done.
If I must. I deal death with my hands.
Fantastic. And then we want to do this on... Can't see her. Oh, let's go do that.
I'm done with this one.
Can I keep her tied down?
In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Faith without deeds is worthless.
I blind this guy. I want to try and keep my main character alive if I can.
I'll do it.
Nice. That's super impressive. She has demonic regeneration. Generates the wounds of allied demonic creatures, which all the demonic creatures are dead, so...
I'll see to it personally. Who, if not me?
Let's see to it.
Trap her in the corner like that. Oh, there's a trap there.
Naturally. Holy terror!
Zero damage.
Smite your enemies.
A load of malarkey. Ow. Double ow.
It will be done. At your beck and call.
Don't get too cocky. You've got a problem. I've got a prize.
High momentum. Low momentum.
If it serves your cause.
Wow, 95% chance too.
I am not your Xenos pet monkey. This tedium is beneath me.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Nice. Owlcat lowers her weapon, but her shoulders remain tense. She finally catches her breath, shaking her hair out of her face in a fluid motion, and looks at you. You've done your duty, Owlcat. From now on, the Lelathan has hope for the future. A future without Silent Thresh and her followers. This world is yet to be cleansed, but there is a time for everything. Now is the time to thank you. Owlcat bows her head slightly. I hope that's the last I'll hear about cultists on Yanis. You're hoping in vain. The seeds these spawns leave behind may sprout in 100 years, in other people and other deeds. I pray that I am wrong. She turns her gaze on you. What about you, Owlcat? We return to the skies, to the blackness amidst the stars, to seek a way through the gloom and tread the paths of more and more new worlds. Will we ever meet again? Meso Recruiter. I hear yearning in your words. Why don't you come with me on my travels? I could use a good markswoman. Owlcat straightens up to her full height. Go with you. She purses her lips, considering something. Perhaps that way I could search for traces of my kin who survived the destruction of our world, or even find out the cause of their deaths. Oh, Shireen, I pray to the Exalted One that your good heart is not broken by the black ungratefulness of those you welcome into your retinue. My only consolation is that this Xenos is still a little different from the darn scum that plague humanity in the Coronis Expanse. Xenos in the retinue of a rogue traitor is an acceptable precedent, although highly undesirable and fraught with danger. If you truly cared for the Owlcat, you wouldn't be following him. You'd have thrown yourself into the abyss long ago. You are a canker, and the jaws of Silent Thresh yawn wide within you. Don't talk to me about dangers. You, a Monkai who has no notion of what he is playing with. Well, Owlcat, since your will supersedes human laws on Xenos, and I'll face no reprisals while I'm by your side, I accept your offer. And more importantly, we got a Signet Ring, grants plus 10 to Persuasion, a Needle Pistol, grants Toxic Needle, and a Forcer Light Carapace, which I believe is what Abelard has equipped, right? I'm not going to worry about these wounds because we should just be leaving the planet next. Oh yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it. Every commissar needs his Jurgen. Sinister Diary. It's a plus 20 bonus to warp or lore warp, and a minus 10 penalty to willpower resistance tests. And a knife.
Keep your wits about you.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay.
My pleasure.
Ophelius Delanor notes on the nature of aristocracy. To be an aristocrat is to exist in a higher state of being, without a doubt. Each of us is born to realize one supreme purpose, to lead humanity to perfection through our example, perfection which the lesser beings have forgotten in the endless cycle of war and service. Only by attending to their physical, intellectual, and spiritual needs can an aristocrat fully devote themselves to that for which they were born. By creative passions, whether that be the fine arts, the written word, government, or the more refined spheres of worldly knowledge. An aristocrat's passion is in itself a virtue and the highest good. An aristocrat must satisfy these needs by any means open to them. Nothing stimulates a weary mind like fine amasec, a good flogging, or enjoyment of carnal pleasures with women, men, and animals. In the thrill of passion, an aristocrat is at liberty to torture or maim the object of their desire. If the clergy frown upon such an act, repent, atone for the apostasy with jewels, and forgive them for their closed minds. For only an aristocrat is given to understand that such acts are in service of a grand purpose. Should an aristocrat deliberately curtail their own desires in some way, and fail to appreciate the gifts granted them as one of nature's higher beings, then in what way do they differ from the dust beneath one's feet, from the mindless beast, or from the crude, deceitful, useless rabble? Such a pretender is an agonizing stain on our noble society. It behooves every true aristocrat to return our lost brother to the fold, or to stamp out his contemptible life as gladly as we might crush a vexatious bug beneath our boot. Well, there's a philosophy for you. Power Grips grants plus 10 strength. Very straightforward, and I appreciate that. So do we value strength more than weapon skill, or does automatic gloves give both? Only half as much strength. Oh, we can do better. Yeah, let's give that to him. I have this hunting rifle as well. 16 to 24. Higher max damage. He's missing some equipment as well. I'm just gonna throw some stuff on him. Just so he doesn't have any empty slots. Alright. Not too worried about Earliet's equipment since she's not going to be in my party.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. I will lead us to fortune. Always keep your eye on the prize.
The Secretary is shaking in terror, looking around at the devastation. Your Lordship, what happened? Where's Lady Vyatt? The Secretary stares at Elliot in horror. His face twists, but he cannot seem to get out a single word. Vistenza Vyatt has been executed as a traitor to the Imperium. Her accomplices must be found and put to death immediately. Oh no, heresy. Heresy on Yanis. The Secretary makes a protective gesture over himself. May the God Emperor watch over us. Whatever the Governor did, I had no knowledge of it. We'll root out those who colluded with her right away. The Secretary begins to speak, but thinks better of it, instead choosing to step aside and bow his head as you pass.
I always have a backup plan. Is there money to be made?
A new dialogue there. Whatever happened to that tech priest?
If such is the Emperor's will.
I always keep my options open.
He's still gone. Okay. Well, seems like that's it. So I guess next time we return to the ship and speak with Elliot. Then we'll continue exploring the expanse. The Coronis expanse. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.